Yo, I'm going to start this podcast off with a formal apology. I swear, I didn't mean to, but I was late. I was late to finishing the other podcast. A great podcast, by the way. Hopefully you watched that
really
before you
good.
watch this one.
Very good, not for nothing.
You're actually gonna watch that one after this one. But I'm known to be very punctual. Whatever the word opposite of opposite word of punctual is, it's usually me. So I had to chase these two beautiful young ladies down the street and get them to come back to do.
You did break out into a full
I made
sprint.
multiple promises. I have a lot to fulfill after this podcast. It's a lot.
He's
It's
not,
a lot.
He's not ready.
I wasn't there for that, so I missed
There's a
that.
lot on the line here.
I wish I would have
ready.
seen
I
that.
have to give my firstborn to her.
Oh,
My fourth born, she gets.
so you're having 5?
Yes, I'm having 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
So, welcome. Thank you for listening. You're listening to episode 9 or 10. Oh, so I mean, yeah, whatever. 9 or 10, or 9.5. I don't really freaking know. Welcome to the Carrier Podcast. My name is Malik. I'm here with a bunch of friends of mine, but before I introduce my good friends here, I am going to shout out to Millennial Brewery. They're right down the street around the corner. They have amazing freaking beer.
Yes,
My
they do.
gosh. Marissa was talking a little bit about how she likes that lighten up. That's because the lighten up is it's citrusy, right? It's like this light.
And I'm not a
You
beer
know,
person.
you're not a
So
beer
for me to
person.
say I like it,
No, it's true.
You
She's
know
a
it's
fan.
good.
It's
I
my
know
jam.
good.
It's my jam. So go check Millennial out. If you're not even into breweries, you're like, I don't even like beer. I like Hennessy. That's all I drink, Hennessy. You know what I'm saying? Go check them out anyways. You got to get into beer culture because it's growing. You can't fight it. So you might as well get used to it. And also, Narrative. Shout out to Narrative Coffee. They're sponsoring this episode as well. Thank you guys. You guys are killing it. Keep doing your thing. Shout out to Caleb with the dreads, white boy with the dreads. Have you ever seen a white boy with the dreads?
I have.
We do live
Yeah.
in Southwest Florida.
We do live in Southwest,
Yeah.
but he rocks them well. He doesn't,
He's serious about it.
He rocks them well. So shout out to Caleb. So man, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is
Finally.
like family right here. This is
5
like
hours later, no.
kindred. Yeah, this is like kindred
Never.
spirit. Last episode, I was talking to my boy Bugsy about like it was like kind of off the camera a little bit, but talking about how like having a team of people and having like a group of people when you're trying to do something creative like that, how hard it is to build a team. Because especially with people who are talented, you just tend to do things yourself. Especially if you're like a learner. But with you guys, y'all like a freaking what do you call it? A freaking
Legion.
Movement.
a
We call it a
legion,
movement.
I
a
like legion,
legion
I like
of
that.
people.
Sorry.
So we're gonna go around real quick and introduce my guests. We have 4 guests. My co-hosts they don't fit in the set, so they're not here. They all kicked them out. So we just got the whole GCL team. So I'm gonna go to my right. If you're just listening, you're not watching. Who do we got to my right? What's going on, girl? How you
Hey,
doing?
hey. My name's Alicia Hamilton. I do marketing and design with GCL. I love this team. We have fun.
Yo, I
Doing
just
lots of things.
finally met you 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
right? 2 weeks
We were supposed
ago?
to be introduced like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, it's one of those times where you hear of people, you have mutual friends, kindred spirits, but you just never run into each other.
Yes.
And we sat down in this room and we chopped it up, and it was a freaking great conversation.
We had to share our morning moment about
we'll talk about this maybe a little bit in the podcast, but we both have the same complex of growing up in white suburbia at the same time being just being like you have this black angst, you don't know what to do, you know what I'm saying, and you're just like struck. So
It's true.
we bonded.
It's
We went to the lodge across the street, talked a little bit, but no, I really appreciate meeting you, and I'm glad we're. The second time I met you, I was chasing you down the street.
Yes.
So, we're off
Which
to-
means it worked.
Damn. Tell us, girl, how you doing? How you doing? Got the guys chasing after you. Okay, cool. And so next to Alicia, we have Marisa. What's up, girl? How you doing? How you doing?
Good, how are you?
What's going on? How you doing? How you
I'm
doing?
good, I'm good.
How did you get? How do you know these people? How do you
It's a funny story.
Yeah.
Can I tell it?
Yeah, don't tell us.
Okay, so I used to work doing health insurance,
Oh.
and that is how I met Marco. And he came into my office. We were, talking, and I noticed that he was like really excited and pumped, and like he just wanted to go. Like he didn't want to be there. Like he had something else better to do. And I'm like, "Are you okay? Do you want to reschedule?" And he's like, "Oh, I have an event tonight." Da 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 da. And I've been here now for 13 years. At the time, it had been about 10. And I'm like, "Oh, well, what's going on tonight?" And we kind of started talking about the show and the art and everything like that. And being here for almost 10 years, I hadn't found anything like that. So
Right.
I was really excited because I'm from up north. So
What part where are you from?
Jersey.
Jersey.
B-Town,
Jersey.
973.
Jersey. It was like a snobbish brag. Jersey, you peasants, you other New Yorkers.
I'm proud to be from Jersey.
No, you know what it
Listen.
is? Because people from Jersey are used to other people talking shit
Yes.
about Jersey.
Yes.
So
Because
We
you're like
are
a
not
fake.
the armpit of New York, first of all.
Yeah,
we're
we
You
not.
really are.
No,
no,
we're not.
Come on, man.
Malik, you want to make it through the rest of this
It's called the
podcast?
Garden
Oh,
State.
I'm gonna make it.
Oh, you sure? Not
I
talking
made
like
it.
that.
I made it through 20 years of hardship. I can make it through this. Okay, you from fake New York? Where else? What else?
Oh, Lord. See,
So you part of
Jersey? What
you're
part of
gonna be
Jersey?
chasing in another 5-10 minutes if you keep up.
You came from up north.
Yes, so came from north, used to things of this nature, and when he told me about it, I was really excited. And I've been going to the show for a whole year, and I finally approached Marco and Brian, and I was like, "Listen, how do I get on? How do I tell me what I got to do?" And it kind of just went from there.
Yeah. So
First
that's
female
what's up.
on the team.
Hey.
She broke the mold.
I'm gonna skip over real quick, and I'm gonna go right in front of me, a little bit to my left, for say like to my 11 o'clock. Ooh, I use military stuff.
I thought I had some time. Something to get.
Nah.
You just skip straight.
Caught you
I'm
off
gonna come here.
guard.
We got Ariel, my boy Ariel, man. Wait, am I saying it in the native vernacular? How do I say Ariel? Easy. I've been in 4 quinceañeras, so I'm with it.
So you know how to say it.
I'm
man.
with it.
You know,
I'm
at
with
least-
it,
At least
bro.
4 of the cousins I named. That.
I know you as just mutual friends, known you for a while. You're creative, you do video, amazing video work. You've done some work for me. I appreciate that. And you're also an artist yourself, musician. So what's going on with you? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. I guess saying good right now is like an understatement. Like
Yeah.
It's great. It reflects like I can say in the people that I have surrounding me. In the work that we're doing, just all the goals that we have set for, and all around, they have improved me as well. So
Yeah.
I feel good.
That's cool. So you're a part of a bigger team of people, everyone here, and there's more people. Obviously, Brian. Shout out to Brian. He having a little baby. He having a little baby. You know what I'm saying?
GCL baby.
Yeah, and you're a part of a bigger team. I remember, and this is how I'm gonna introduce Marcos. Is I remember meeting you at Edison State College, the OG college. FSW. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what the Pirates, Buccaneer. I don't know what they are. I remember having a torch be our mascot, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A torch.
The Edison light, right? It's
The
like that,
Edison
right?
light. I got into the whole program. I was on it. Shout out to what's his name? Mr. the black dude.
Oh,
Mr. Fred. Fred.
Oh no.
Mr. Fred. Not Mr. Fred.
Fred something.
But he hooked me up. I got that free 2-year, easy. And I got the work study program, and I was working for, what is it?
Upward Bound.
Upward Bound. So I was working in there, and I was working with my boy Obed, working with, and I met this dude, Marcos. He was just like philosophical.
How was that back then, bro?
He was like, man.
Rico Suave.
Every time I met him, he was either talking to the girls or he was talking to another dude about like philosophy and always asking me deep questions while we're trying to do paperwork and stuff. It was like, but he always had this creative mind though. Was always talking about these ideas that he wanted to do. And I remember the birth of GC. I remember you had a coffee meeting with me about doing it, and I was like, nah, bro, I'm good, man. I got this, whatever. And look, here you guys are, 6 years, 7 years later, or however long. I should have probably jumped in with you, huh? Kind of messed up there, but Marcos, man, how you doing, bro? It's
Good, how
Marco,
are you?
not Marcos, no S. But
Hello, everyone. How we doing?
what's up? You see that? You see that, boy?
That Rico
All
Suave,
right.
I told you.
Hello, everyone. How
Oh
you
my
doing?
God.
This is KWL for my GCL Golf Course Leisure. Dude, how you doing, bro? What's going on?
Malik, I'm good, man.
You got a lot of great things going on.
Yeah, it's been a great year so far. A lot of growth. A lot of these past 2 years have been very
Yeah,
Just-
absolutely.
evolving in many, more than one way. You know, personally, in the company. I think ever since like Marissa really came on, things started coming on better. And then I've known Alicia for forever. Actually, since the beginning of GCL, because she used to work at the art center, and she would always tell us that why you need my help. That's basically what she would say. Let me not work around that. She would say, you need my help.
You need my help.
And I was like, yes, but we're not ready for you just yet. That was my thing. Brian was always like, yo, let's get her. I'm like, nah, not yet. And
We're not
it was,
ready.
we weren't ready. And we weren't ready then, but when she came on, we were a lot more ready, and she's helped mold us better. Marissa and then Ariel hopping on.
So
what,
I gotta stop you here.
mid-2016?
What in the world? People listening were like 10 minutes in, and like, what the hell's GCL?
True.
What?
True.
What is GCL, and more so, how did it start? What is GCL? What was the vision in the first place of this whole thing?
So the vision came from, in general at the time, early 20s. I think, around this time we knew each other. I was wilding out, and you were very homebody, Christian-based individual. And I
Homebody Christian base. I love
yeah, it was.
It sounds like a genre of a book.
I felt like I was doing bad things, and you were like the holy one in the room all the time. I was like, so around this time, it was pretty crazy, and just trying to find something to do. And Brian at the time was living in Tampa, so he was being exposed to a lot of shout out Brian Franklin, be frank. He was being exposed to a lot of art, a lot of different culture, and he would tell me about these poetry nights. And at the time, whatever, it was all about partying and quote unquote bullshitting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Party and bullshit, as
Party and-
Vicky would say.
Thank you. So, so there was nothing really going on, and we were just trying to get something started. I mean, going to all these club nights and salsa nights, and the point was we were bored and we wanted something. So Brian came up with the concept to do a poetry night, and we did this poetry night. It was horribly planned. I mean, I didn't do anything at all. Brian reminded me the same day, hey, we had this, and I'm like, oh no, we have this. So I ended up showing up. I didn't want to show up because we didn't plan for it, and the gentleman at the time, Chef Jay, was very nice enough to let us use his space. And anyways, it felt weird. It didn't feel right, and I left that whole. Oh, by the way, 6 people came. Shout out to the 6 people.
Hey, shouts out to the 6 though.
You
man.
have to start somewhere.
You gotta
Yeah,
start
6
somewhere.
people
6
came,
turned
and
into
it
120.
was all of
Five
Brian's
years.
friends.
Yeah.
I don't think any of my friends showed up that day at all, which is okay because I didn't tell them. So.
Oh, so you pretty much started making friends after GCL because you didn't have friends before that.
I went to 4 different high schools in this area, so
Dang, bro.
I met a lot of people
You got
throughout
commitment.
my.
You got commitment issues?
At a certain point, I sure did.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, absolutely. Future.
'Cause I have this next
My
beer.
impression in my cups,
Yeah. Shouts out to Millennia for the truth. All right, go on.
So yeah, it came out of that whole thing just not being well prepared or well managed at all, and us just being creative, obviously, but not really having any actual planning experience or event planning experience at all. So then I approached, at the time I knew a gentleman named Jose, and we would always go out and do things together, and I've always been very business minded. Like, it just came very natural to me. And now as I get older, I understand it more, and I've always been an entrepreneur, and it came real natural.
So you started off with this thing you wanted it to be a place for what? You wanted it to be a place for art and cult? Like, what did you envision?
We just wanted something different.
You just wanted something
Bottom
different.
line, we wanted
From
something
what?
different.
What-
This
what-
was 5 years ago, so
what
this
was-
started in 2012.
What was the thing that you wanted it to be different from? What was the thing that you were saying? Just like clubs and shit?
Yeah, I mean, the same thing we're still talking about, and I heard even Laveau mention it, that, there's really sometimes nothing to do here. And, now that there's breweries and stuff, the atmosphere has changed. But 5 years ago, there was nothing at all really going on. There was no consistent event that we can go to and be ourselves. You know, what Brian was experiencing, I wanted to experience it here, and I felt that this town had the possibility to do that. Why not? It has so much potential. We have our own airport. The city, the city renovated downtown. There was all these things going on. So why not evolve and grow? And if, my dad always told me, if you want something done, you have to do it yourself. Nobody else is really going to do it for you. So, and me being a natural, at that point, not understanding, but me being a natural entrepreneur, I knew that we had to be legit. So we started, I knew that I needed a business partner because I didn't know everything. So I needed something that was more business than me.
That's huge, though, to say that you, that even is a testament to why the fact that you brought 3 other people with you tonight. Would have been 5, but my boy Andrew had to go. My fault. But the fact that you see your weakness and you're like, I need someone, and that's hard. That's hard to do.
You remember Professor Swanson?
You can't grow without it. I mean, you really can't.
Yeah.
Professor Swanson, in his ethics class, made me realize that, what was it? It was Socrates or Plato? Plato wrote about Socrates. So I think Plato mentioned something like that. Socrates was, it didn't matter to him. Death was irrelevant. It was all about looking back at his whole existence and being satisfied with what he did. So that settled with me, and it was like, am I going to be satisfied with the achievements that I've made, big or small? So I don't know. I understand that I'm not perfect, and naturally in business you need to cover different angles. So why not have a team? Why not have somebody that you can count on? And I think I work well with other people. I'm really chilled and quiet, so it sometimes works out when everybody's really loud around me. I can always bring it back down.
Okay, so what happens? Walk me through the art. You have this, like, your flagship event is the Art and Poetry Night. What? And you guys are all welcome to answers. What happens at this night? What is the night about? What is it for? What happens? Like, who are the people coming to these things?
I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so a normal night would be starting off with us getting there and setting up. First of all, we do art and poetry networking event the third Friday of every single month at Sidney and Byrne Davis Art Center. If you're not
Tell them, plug it.
Listen, if you're not familiar with downtown, it is the most beautiful, most photographed building in Florida. You can't miss it. You really can't. It's a gorgeous venue, and we do this event that opens at 8 o'clock. Doors open at 8 o'clock, and you come in, and the atmosphere is chill. You got DJ Tiger doing his mix. You walk in, and the lights are up. Art is all over the walls. And we have vendors, we have artists, visual artists, and we have performing artists. Come on our stage, bring their work, bring their craft to share with an audience that's eager to see something different. Like Margot said, like Livo said, like something different. And I think to answer actually what was on the interview before, you mentioned about how these artists get together, and I think that's really what we bring to the market. We bring a platform where artists and professional creatives, entrepreneurs of all different backgrounds and cultures can come and get to know each other and perfect their craft. Wow. Like if you're selling goods, like you need to work on your pitch, you need to work on your table, you need to work on your brand, and you can't do that unless you have some market experience. Right. And it's the same thing if you're an artist. If you're a visual artist, you need to be able to speak to your clientele. So
it's this like safe environment to grow.
A safe environment for creative professionals and just art enthusiasts
because
to grow.
Because you guys named it art, poetry, and then that networking part.
Yeah,
is like
that's
that
the sweet
business
spot.
Is like you mesh the creative with that business.
And that whole name came organically. It really came from me trying to put several people in a room together, which is incredibly hard. And just, art. Oh, we want to do poetry. But networking sounds good because I don't want to just do art and poetry. I want to network. So it just, that whole name was very natural. Very, very natural.
Well, because
super organic.
Over the years, I've hopped in a couple of them. I've just come to support you guys because I love what you guys are doing. And it's a very eclectic group of people who, I would say the one thing I love about it most is there's so much freedom. The last one I went to, there was this girl playing the violin. Was it the violin? Yeah, the violin. And she was just,
to Luna, Purple Rain.
Yeah, she was just like killing like these solos. And there was so much freedom for her to like even to keep going. Like B Frank was like, yo, just keep going, like do another one. And there was like there's no judgment. You know, couple weeks before, I went to Speak My Piece, and that was even more intense and intimate and more freedom because they were talking about. I was talking about
18 and up, yeah.
sex and like
Passion edition.
what? That was it was like I walked into Passion, unbuttoned my
Art
shirt.
and Poetry
Yeah,
networking
yeah,
event
yeah.
is definitely more family oriented, and Speak My Piece is a more raw, unadulterated, uncensored,
Come as
open
you
mic.
are, bring it. Yeah.
Yes.
Why uncensored? What do you feel like? Why did you guys decide to go? Because you guys were doing the Art and Poetry Night, which is more so like mainstream in a sense for everyone. What made you guys want to do this other sort of like sister event?
It's what we are, really. Oh, I'm sorry.
Definitely, no,
It's
you-
what
no.
we-
That's a great intro. It is what we are because we aren't just art and poetry. You know, we want to do music events. We want to. I mean, there's plenty of things that we want to do. We're a collective of very creative individuals. So we want to do more than one event. But we felt that to like kind of segment off of art and poetry, we needed something a little more raw, a little more us, something
It was
where that.
important for people to know that there was a place that they could go to and be themselves, whatever that looked like.
Talk about those taboo subjects that you can't necessarily talk about in front of a room with families and kids. Like, you know, art and poetry, you do hear people open up about certain things, but, you know, about relationships and some of your basic, you know.
Wow. So you've seen people come in front of a group of these people, a group of like-minded individuals, and just share their heart, like the deepest stuff. You've seen that.
Speak My
We've had
Piece,
audiences
yeah.
move to tears.
Definitely.
Like,
Speak My Piece
yeah.
is definitely more the platform for that because people do get a little bit more deep with what they're saying because there is more freedom to say, you want to drop the F-bomb, drop the F-bomb. You want to talk about your baby's daddy, talk about your baby's daddy. You want to talk about politics, about your religion, talk about it.
What do you feel like that does for people? Why do you like? Do you?
It's a release. I mean, here, growing up here, I feel like creatively, you don't have that many outlets that are organized in a way to let you express. So we were talking about that, right? About being raised in Cape Coral. I come from an arts family, and there was no place that we could go as creative soccer players where you could just be yourself, where we could go paint, or we could play the violin or do any. There was no platform for it. There was no programs for it. And now things are changing a little bit to give that platform to help people creatively digest their feelings.
Well, we need that as right for me. Like we just recorded an episode before this, right? And I was talking to Lavelle, right? And he asked me a question about my life, and I started talking. And as I'm talking, there's this therapy going on in my heart.
It's deep.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
heard it, man.
There's this freedom that I'm feeling by just telling him my story, by just telling him where I've been, where I'm at.
We've
where
had
I'm,
people
where I'm
even
going.
come on stage and say, like, thank you for allowing me to do that. Like,
Yeah.
you just saved me from doing something to myself.
That
like,
is
it's
our
intense.
largest
Like,
feedback,
it's intense.
really.
It's not just art. It's
No,
life.
yeah.
Well,
Man.
what is life if it's not art? You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
Okay. Dropped in gems. Okay. We take a drink. Cheers.
Expression of self is very human, you know, and that's one of the things that I think why there is war or crazy things happening because we can't, there's no outlets to express yourself in a positive way. So Speak My Piece and art and poetry are those things. And then Speak My Piece, we needed somewhere where we could just get like rowdy and curse and
A little bit.
yeah.
That's what you have to be as a
because artists we're gonna
professional
curse
here.
anyway. Me and Brian had to deal with situations where an artist would just curse on stage, and we were like, "Please don't curse." And very important people would be in the crowd, you know,
Kids would
older
be in the
people,
crowd.
kids, and we were like, "I want you to curse, but it's just these people are here, man, and we just, you know, come on, we have to work for everybody here." So we need an outlet for that too,
Yeah.
not only for them, for ourselves, so forth.
I think it describes what I was talking about earlier as us as professionals. You know, if you work in Southwest Florida and you're a person of culture or diversity or under the age of 45, you have to be a certain way in the office. You have to be a certain way when you are doing business and having that outlet where you can kind of be yourself and kind of reconnect with the things that really make you who you are. I mean,
Well, I think you know we were talking a little bit about authenticity with LeBeau, and I think there's something about authenticity because, and we were talking about, if you watch the Swanson episode, we had Dr. Swanson on.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. And we were
I haven't
talking
seen it.
about empathy, right? And the power of vulnerability. This great author, if you've never read her name's Brene Brown. She's a social worker and a therapist, and she writes about vulnerability and how there's so much power in vulnerability. Because one of the scariest things about me going through my depression was me going, if anybody knew who I really was, then they wouldn't love me, right? So if I actually let people in past the facade of Malik, then boom, they're gonna run. They're gonna be like, oh shit, I don't want to be around him. So there's this isolating thing that happens where if you always walk around with this facade, then you always feel isolated. You never feel loved. You never feel like you know someone, and you never feel, more so, you never feel like they know you. So with your guys' platforms that you offer, I feel like it's allowing people to be loved for who they are. They're being completely vulnerable, right? When I went to the Speak My Piece thing, I forgot what girl it was, but she was getting deep into the sexual, the sensual shit, and like she was talking about how this guy makes her feel, and like, and she probably can't even tell her friends that or whatever. She probably can't go and tell her family like, this is how he makes me feel and blah 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 blah. But she's expressing herself, and now she's like that, like she's freed in that sense, in that moment. And I think it's pretty powerful what you guys are doing, man. I think it's very important.
Thank you.
I would admit and say that I underestimated over the last 5 years you guys have been doing this. I've underestimated that poetry part.
I always knew you supported though.
I always
knew you supported.
I always support. No,
I didn't see you
no.
for the first 3 years, but yo,
not one of the 6 people.
from afar I knew.
Malik was not one of the 6.
No. It took him like 3 and a half years.
Jesus had 12,
when he came
nigga.
out. I still remember when you came out. I was like, is that Malik? OMG.
Ghost walked into the room.
No. With a fro.
Is that recently when it just happened? Like when he just recently came?
No. Like, yeah. But ever since then, it might have been that long period.
Yeah, I support. I just,
Yeah,
it's funny because
he pops up.
yo, I swear it's like what people do general in our areas, like they're watching. Like I know.
Oh, I
You're
love
gonna
it.
be
No,
there
yeah,
in
yeah.
April, aren't you?
I'm gonna be there.
For our April
Autism
show?
awareness.
I'm gonna be there now. I'm gonna be there. But it's what happens, But I underestimated the poetry part because I'm like, man, poetry. I'm like, poetry, bro. But I saw it, and I'm like, this is powerful.
And you
This
know what?
is-
Art and
this is
poetry has grown so much that it's not what everybody's used to that it's been for the last 4.5 years. Like, we're collaborating with different entities now and doing awareness events. So our first event in December was with the McGregor Clinic, raising awareness on HIV and AIDS and the impact that it has on the community in our area. Like, it's taboo. We want to talk about it.
Okay.
So this next event that we're doing next Friday, April 21st, is partnering with Blue Crayons, which is an entity that raises awareness on autism and building sensory rooms in schools for children to be able to be successful in a classroom. So it's really breaking down those barriers and touching those taboo topics that nobody wants to talk about.
Because it affects our community, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. I mean, I didn't realize that we're. That's a loud one.
He's lit.
I didn't realize that Fort Myers is 16th in the nation for recently diagnosed cases in HIV. So, I mean,
Say that again.
16th in the nation.
For newly diagnosed HIV cases.
I think Florida's number 1 or something.
Florida's now number 1, the number 1 state in Florida. Yep. for
Y'all
newly
better
diagnosed.
wrap it up.
Wrap it before you tap it. Wrap it before you tap it.
She got close to the mic for that. She was talking to you. You right there.
No, but I mean, so we're definitely trying to partner up. We're trying to grow our demographic,
We're gonna
obviously.
break those barriers.
Well, that.
Can we just talk about that?
Yeah, I
Speaking of taboo topics, can we just talk about the
Let's talk
river
about it.
and Cape Coral and Fort Myers?
What's up?
And like how important what everybody's doing right now
What's up?
to bring people together is
up?
so vitally important.
What's
Let's
up?
talk about
What's
that.
up? What's up?
Why is Cape Coral and Fort Myers got to be so different?
Why are
Because-
the hipsters in Cape Coral, bro?
Why does the
Downtown.
food in Cape Coral have to be better, Malik? Fort Myers is good food too. I saw that post.
Hey, Okay. Yeah, I was waiting. I got that your notes.
So disrespectful.
Look.
I'm gonna throw it off real quick.
There is a difference, and I want to say different, but not better or less. I think there is a difference of culture where in today's age it is easier for different people to mix, right? Culture is not homogeneous anymore. We live in a globalized society where I could be in contact with a Muslim and in contact with a Russian and in contact with a kid from Africa at the same damn time in the same DM, right? Like we're a pluralistic society. We're all connected. But I think, like, we had Dwayne Jackson on a couple weeks ago from the Dunbar community, and talking to him and seeing, like, how I'm so disconnected from the Dunbar, from a community as such. I live in Cape Coral. From the time I was in 5th grade till 2 weeks ago, I've lived in Cape Coral, Florida. Went to Gulf Elementary, Gulf Middle, Mariner High.
I'm right there with you.
Majority of the people I knew were white people. All my teachers were white people.
Yep.
Even now, I would say the majority of my friends are white people, Spanish and white. I can count on my hand the 10 black friends that I
It's
regularly
11 today.
talk. You were part of the 10.
Okay, well that's exciting.
Golf club.
Right. Obviously, I have a bunch of black friends, but I'm talking about like friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My context is in a whitewashed world, right? So, and you understand that. So, because what happens is this. This is what happened. I had to learn how to survive in a white context, right? So, with that survival comes assimilation. Like, I got to change the way I talk, not even the way I dress, because I think black people have preserved their coolness around white people. Like, we can still be cool. We make it feel. That's probably our black privilege, is the fact that we're cooler than white people.
Yes, I completely agree.
So what happens is I assimilate, I change, I don't become like them, but I
think
learn.
adapting is a
I
better word.
adapt.
Adapting.
And therefore, what that does is that it alienates me from the black people, because they go, "Hey, nigga, why you wearing them tight jeans? Why you always hanging out with white people? Why you always dating white girls?" And so what it did in middle school and high school is it alienated me from my people, right? Because they're like, "Why you selling out?" I'm like, "I'm not selling out. I'm learning how to make moves. I'm finessing. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm figuring this shit out. Like, I don't know. Don't try to put me in a box of just being culturally black."
But that shows what's the problem with our society.
And exactly.
Can we rein it back into our city? I'm talking about Cape Coral and Fort Myers.
So that's what I was gonna say. Is like, even with like our poetry nights, when I walk in, I go, "This is there. It's black. It's minority. It's Spanish. It's white. It's a mix of people." I would say, from my perspective, it leans more on like the black and Spanish side, and that makes me feel insecure, because I'm like, shit, all my events are just like a bunch of white people.
See, but just like you said, what happened to your walls? That wall that everybody builds up, that fear thing, that not knowing thing. People put up a wall to protect themselves, right? Because you're afraid of whatever you think might hurt you or take advantage of you, or I've been hurt by that person, or, I've had somebody say this thing to me, but if you don't open yourself up in a safe place to let that guard down and engage in something different, like, you're always going to think like that.
Yeah, well, I think, I don't see, I went to Bugsy's event a couple weeks ago at Tequila Bar, and it was like, it was the culture shock. It was fire, right? And it was like minority central, right? It was like a bunch of black, Haitian, Jamaican, Trinidadian, like everyone, right? White people obviously sprinkled in, but for the first time in a while, it's like the first like real like minority event I went to.
You gotta get out of Cape Coral, bro.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm at Nice Guys. I'm at I'm at breweries. Where I move is very different, and I think it's very. I don't ever see a bunch of black people from Dunbar coming over the bridge and on the Cape and going to chill at Nice Guys Pizza on a Saturday. Like, I don't see that happening. I also don't see a bunch of white hipsters going to the Stars Complex to play basketball ever. Like, I don't see that mix.
It's the wrong sport. You should play soccer.
But Well, it is fear, and it's like context, because those white people don't play basketball. They don't go to the club. Like, so I don't know how to mix. I think we were having a very good conversation the other day about how can we create environments for that mix to happen. I think a lot of people are trying. I think you guys are definitely.
That is what we do.
Yeah, you guys are in the forefront of that. I'm a little bit behind because it's so insecure for me to say this, but I feel disconnected from like Black Twitter in a sense, right? Like the Black community in a sense. I feel alienated from because of years and years of there was a group of Black girls in high school that took my fucking Black card.
Damn.
By force, huh?
They took my imaginary Black card.
They can do that.
I didn't even have it, and they took it from me.
Black women can be very relentless.
Well, because
like
I
Black
think
women,
they have a
just say.
reason to have a chip on their shoulder, and I think they're defensive. They see another Black man. You tell me how you feel. Like you see another Black man going with a white woman, and like why, what you want? Is that better?
Everything that you're saying goes back to identity. I'm sorry, it just does. If you don't see value in yourself as an individual, you are never going to be able to go any
You're
further.
always going to compare.
You're always going to compare yourself to somebody else. I suffer from the same thing, right? So you're a kid of two different houses. You're a kid of arts and education, and then you're a kid of sports. I'm first generation from my father. You know, my father's Jamaican, been coaching soccer here for, God, years and years and years. But it was, you just have to learn how to get outside that. Like, it's not about what anybody thinks about you. It's about, and that, okay, so there it is. It's the art. Everybody can relate to things that are creative. There is a human element that does not care about your skin color, does not care about your music taste, but if somebody says something to you that relates to an experience that you've had in your life, or that you see a color or a piece of artwork that relates to you, you have no idea if that person went through the same thing, but you connected on that level. And I think that is the platform that will help our community, which is why it is so important for us as GCL, Gulf Coast Leisure, to continue doing the work that we're doing to create these events that nurture culture. Really, seriously. Because if people, first of all, don't talk about it, you're not going to do anything about it. And then we've just gotten to a point where we're done talking about it. Like, it's time to do something about it. And 5 years strong, we plan to continue to do bigger and better things to bring people from one side of the bridge to the other.
Malik.
What?
Don't sleep on GCL.
Hey yo, I'm not. I'm woke on GCL. That's why we're here. It's like I appreciate what you guys are doing. I'm following
And this
suit.
city is too beautiful to have it split down the middle. It really is.
Alicia,
like,
that was a good breakdown of
thank
like
you.
with GCL, Art Poetry. You know, the whole GCL
That's what
factory.
we
You know,
are,
what we pump out. That's definitely what it is.
Yeah.
And Malik, thank you for when we met last week, making me realize that, because sometimes I lose track of this, and just trying to move forward and trying to make it all happen. Keep everybody together, because that is a process within itself sometimes, keep myself together, and they hold me accountable as well. So that whole thing is a process, and sometimes you get lost in all that, and you help me realize that our key is the diversity. We don't just have one demographic,
Right.
I mean? We have everybody, and we attracted it through the arts, and that was the initial plan when I thought about whatever GCL could be in my patio, just chilling, hanging out and stuff, and
Pause.
Go
And-
on.
Go inside
Go
real
on.
quick.
and that's what it was. That's what it was. It wasn't about one demographic or one group of people. It was about everybody, and it was about people who haven't experienced it, to give them the opportunity to experience it as well. So that's why we've always kept it professional, and I think that's why from the very start, Allie always wanted to to help us, because we were professional, even if we weren't professional. We definitely try to keep up with.
You guys are definitely professional. Trust me, I know.
That's why he ran
I
down
learned
the
that. I
block.
learned that 45 minutes ago.
Yeah.
When I was begging on the phone, please come back. I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm sorry. Please.
That's live on our Facebook. No,
You
just-
got it all. I mean,
Your
oh,
face
man,
is
that
the
would've
space.
been
$1
exposing.
million dollars.
Exposing me. No, man, it's a very important conversation. I think the split, my boy Dwayne talks a lot about that split of Fort Myers and Cape. I think, I would say on a national level, even on a global level, like I think one of the things that's happening is with the rise of hip hop becoming like the new pop, right, or the new rock. Hip hop is sort of pop culture. You watch something like the VMAs where it used to be like
Infiltrated
Yeah,
every
you used to-
genre
you-
of music.
yeah, you
there
used to
is
watch the
right
VMAs and it's Britney Spears and JT and Backstreet Boys and this bunch of white people. Now it's like
Rihanna,
Fetty Wap and
Fetty Wap, wow.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of black people who are, and we're setting the tone entertainment wise. So I think that trickles down as far as pop culture goes to like, especially if you want to see the tone, if you want to see the future of where things are going in our society, just look at like a bunch of 13-year-olds. Look what they're wearing.
They
look,
scare me.
Look, doing the whip. Hey, like I'll watch.
My niece is 9 and she's doing that.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
If you want to see where culture's going, just look at the 13-year-olds and what they're doing, because that's where it's going.
yeah, but even younger.
You
too,
hit another
like,
point too. Yeah, watch the 13-year-olds. What are they watching you do?
You talking about me?
I-
I'm interviewing y'all niggas. So
That's
what they
why Malik has no
He's
kids.
like,
what they got you doing?
That's why you're giving him his first.
May I?
No.
No. I got like 3 things in my. That's it. No, seriously though, really seriously, you're absolutely right.
Thank you.
Watch, and that's the one thing that defines, I think, our demographic. What we're doing, what the Curate Collective is doing, it's a bunch of professionals.
People
that are
keep
what?
calling my shit the Keurig, like the coffee. Nah, nigga, Curate. All right, anyways, go.
You want to spell it for him?
Sorry, no, I'm good.
No, I want you to get it out.
I'm
It's
sorry.
very
That was
good.
pent up anger.
It was. It sounded
was.
real.
When
Real
people
pent up.
call you guys the GLC or something.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
I
That's
did
great.
that
That's
one
a good
time.
one.
You guys
That's
are
a
like
good one.
you guys are like
It
the
was a great
magazine,
comparison.
right?
I like that. We're like the rapper. No, we're not the rapper.
G Unit.
Oh. Oh.
All right, what do y'all think about? So since you guys, so you live in Fort Myers now. You live in Fort Myers.
I made the switch.
Yeah, we live in Midtown.
Spend everything in Lehigh.
I think
though.
no, seriously, we all live a block away from each
We all
other,
do.
and that
Now
just
we do.
Oh,
Now
and
we
that
do.
didn't happen on purpose.
Midtown is
Like,
what? Midtown is like MLK in between downtown and.
Midtown is in
Fowler?
between 41 and Fowler, from like Colonial down to the
To
river,
like, yeah.
down to about what, Jackson, Edison,
Don't
to,
they have
to
a
the
big?
baseball field.
Don't they have a big initiative to like develop Midtown?
They do.
They've had it
What's
in
up
the
with
works
that?
in a while,
What's
yeah.
going on with that?
I need to read more into that. 'cause
Supposedly they're like
Got a message about that.
they're gonna make make Midtown like a millennial community type thing. Did you hear about that? They're like building a bunch of. It's supposed to happen in like 50,000 years, but it's supposed to be like they're building a bunch of houses and they're gonna do like make it cheaper for like so that millennials will move into it. I'm not sure.
You know, I
It
hope
makes
that
sense.
that does happen. I hope it doesn't get gentrified and kick everybody out. You know, the whole process.
I absolutely.
That's what I
agree.
honestly hope. But I am excited to see the renovation.
Have you seen any gentrification in Fort Myers happen?
Oh.
Not in our area.
Because right
Not
out,
yet,
you know
at
where
least.
the rib dude is, right?
I was
okay.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
starting
yeah.
to happen over there by McCullum Hall. The
Across from the aquarium,
Imaginarium.
or Imaginarium, that little place has been like, all they gotta do is put a Starbucks there, and then
It's not gonna happen.
I don't think they'll do it. But
Nah.
no, that area has a lot of potential. I mean, all of Midtown really has potential because, I mean, the whole factory. There could be a Wynwood here, you know, or a very small version of that.
What does it take to get a Wynwood here? What is it?
Ooh, cooperation
yeah.
on all levels. You have to have the people who are involved, your regular demographic involved. You have to have businesses involved.
City.
You have to have the city involved. You have to have the arts community involved. You know what's really crazy is that that's already happening. Like there's a couple retired city planners that are sprinkled downtown that live across the street from you actually that came from Miami. And they came to one of our shows and just really pulled me aside and gave us extreme words of encouragement to keep doing what we were doing. But I think when you have the demographics, the age demographics collaborate, you'll have faster progress. And there's another split that you have here. Everybody over 55 wants to do something. They want condos. They want
Retirement communities.
they want quiet. They don't want skate parks. They don't want music
They got
halls.
shut down.
They don't want that. So then, but now you have this whole new generation that either grew up here or came back here to do business. So like, we're gonna make noise. I mean,
Yeah,
but
how does that work? Because we live in such a weird environment. We live in a retirement city, but a lot of young families are moving.
Driven by tourism.
Driven by tourism. But you have a lot of young people who are here for college, and a lot of young people who grew up here because their parents moved here because of cheap housing, and now we're still here, and we're like trying to turn up in whatever way that looks like. So, for example, in Cape Coral, they try to make it to go to Florida. They try to open the clubs up. Bars up.
Yeah,
Bars up.
He said, listen.
Salty as fuck, bro. Bars, nigga. Bars, not clubs.
Country.
No.
Dixie Row House is lit. Nah,
Yeah.
You walk away smelling like an ashtray. But shouts out to them. But they try to do the 4 a.m. They try to do the 4 a.m. thing. It lasted for like 3 weeks, and they shut it down. Like, it was too loud. So here you have a bunch of young people who are like, yay, we get to turn up till 4, and then they shut it down.
Yo, I'm gonna say that has to do also with the culture. I mean, once you start dealing with the bar environment, drinking and all that, like, look, that's fun and that's cool. I like to party and bullshit. I enjoy dancing. I mean, I'll get down and dance for real quick. I'll be the first one out there if anything. But if you're trying to grow that and that's your market and that's what you're trying to expand on, that's cool. That's awesome. But it's gonna lead toward things like that. You know what I mean? It's just natural. I remember being out there. I was with Tiger. It was me, and I think it was the twins, and we got out of Dixie, and it was like 4 a.m. Whatever. Everybody's like dispersing. The cops are all out there, but it's not that bad. It was like a Thursday. I don't know. It was something a little random where it wasn't like super packed. And then we were walking to the parking lot, and we heard somebody get run over. Like, we literally heard the bloop 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 bloop, and we were like, and people yelling.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
It was maybe a few more bloops. Anyways, the point is somebody got ran over, Malik, and that wasn't cool. And it happened because of drinking and that whole environment. And look, we're drinking beer right now, but we're drinking responsibly and we're safe about it. You know what I mean?
After this, it's lit.
Oh, for sure. But we're taking Ubers though because we're responsible.
No, Marco's right.
Marco's
right.
Yeah.
I think for us to be able to collaborate with a more professional, more what would you call old-fashioned group.
I like to call it diverse.
Well, I'm just talking about us in between the generation
The
X and Y.
Multi-generational.
I think finding the sweet spot is like anything else. You can ask 1,000 times for something, but you have to negotiate. Like, okay, we understand that there's a certain time of night that they don't want to hear a certain amount of noise, but if they want our energy in restaurants and they want our energy with creative fields like music and everything else, and that you have to cater to both. I think it's finding.
Do they need us though? Do they need our energy?
They
Absolutely.
absolutely
Of
do.
course. No,
why?
People, we are one of the
young.
fastest.
Innovation. I mean,
We are one of the fastest growing cities because of the people who live here. The people who live and work in Fort Myers make the city as beautiful as it is, which makes it attractive for people to want to move from every other state in the country. They want to come see my palm trees, my beaches.
Those are older people.
My city. It's not just it's not just older people.
Yo, have you been
When
to
did
Palm
you
Beach?
come?
I'm just playing devil's advocate, but no.
I moved here when I was 14 years old.
By yourself?
So it's not,
You
no,
just-
I mean, with my parents, obviously, but my parents aren't older. Like, I'm not going to
How
shout
their
them
parents
out.
are.
And the
Get-
parents
get-
are
get your ass
different.
in
But
trouble
they're,
real
no,
quick.
but they're not
Oh,
that
shit.
old. Like, they're in their 50s. That's
Yeah,
not
and
that
baby
old.
boomers got a different. We're talking about our parents and grandparents and civil
Right.
rights movement. Like this age group is a little bit different. They're a little bit more edgy. They're a little bit more risky. I think, we just have to find a sweet spot. And I think when you present something to a city and a community that's irresistible,
Yeah.
it's just
I think
natural.
they're catching on. I mean, they have an initiative for millennials.
They do.
They're trying to make
Something
us move
put
down
that
here
idea in
and-
their head.
Yeah. What do you think it was?
I don't know. Could
GCL?
be
Money.
GCL awesomeness.
Well, you got the Kearns brothers, or the whole Ford's empire, opening up stuff. But it's like,
I don't know if they drove them.
well, no, I don't. I think they're driving I think they're driving the older crowd, if anything.
I have to appreciate what
Just
they've
that.
done for downtown.
I mean,
Absolutely.
God, you can't go anywhere without hopping into one of their restaurants. And it's like, that's dope, because what it does, even though it might not be like our ideal, like, young people environment, what it is it shows it can happen. Think like
think
We
it
don't
goes-
have to. We don't have to open up an Applebee's. Is what I'm trying to say.
But I think it all goes back to being able to have something to do. Because, I
Right.
mean, that's initially why GCL got started, was to have something different to do. It wasn't
Exactly.
always the same thing.
Exactly. Which is what all of us, I think the influencers are like a Bugsy or like you guys, people who have this brand that is trying to tap into marginalized cultures. I feel like are taking them from the margins and going and like the Sydney. I think the Sydney Burns Center has like really seen what you guys have done, and they're behind you.
Mm-hmm.
So you take a young group of people and an established venue, business, powerhouse, put them together. Holy crap! You get
Unstoppable.
this. You get this, because you guys wouldn't be able to be where you guys are without those people going. We believe in what they're doing.
Appreciators of
Absolutely.
the arts. That's why it's
Absolutely.
the Arts Center. It's like, it drives communities. It really does.
Yeah. No, thank you, Jim. Devin, Sean, Stacy,
Melissa
Well,
DeHaven.
Melissa, everybody who's worked there, before. We met Ali through there. I mean,
Yeah.
that was awesome. I mean, a lot of growth. Me and Brian grew a lot through that, and still growing. And I'm just happy to do what I do, and I can't see myself doing anything else. This is some, professionals or corporate CEOs, whatever.
I'm never gonna go back to a firm again.
Never might think
never.
that this is a waste of time or something. When I talk to my accountant, he's definitely like, yeah, I don't know what you're doing, bro. This ain't really making you no money, and I'm like, listen, Mr. Accountant, I understand, but this is a passion. Like, you don't understand. When people get off stage, they come to me and tell me, and I'm in the middle of something. I'm either trying to serve or handle something at the door. So, something's going on. Something's always going on in an event, so you could always expect that. But they come and they take a second and they tell me that I helped this. Thank you. And I'm like, no, it's not me, it's a team. And they're like, no, but thank you, everyone, GCL, for having this and putting it on every month and giving us opportunity. Because, I think Speak My Piece as an example, someone said that, this moment of self-expression helped them not hurt themselves.
Mhm.
And that was deep to me. I think that that's resonated a lot actually recently in my life, because it's the third or fourth time I've said that out loud. So that was very impactful, and that makes it like real. That makes it real that
Yeah.
we're doing something real. We're not just doing it to be cool. We're not just doing it to like fit in or because I don't know.
I got a question.
Gives
I'm
it
a-
meaning.
I want to change gears real quick before, because we're getting a time limit here. You seen a lot of artists come through. This is I guess it's a layered question, but first part of the question is, why don't you think anyone has like blown up other than like Plies? I mean, other than him, why don't you think any of the artists, all the artists you've seen come through, why don't you think anyone has blown up? And if you feel like out of all the artists you've seen, who you think is like next up to blow? Like, who do you do? Is there anyone you think that's like gonna make it?
Okay, I'm taking that one
Okay,
first. Okay,
go for
are we talking about blown up, like grown?
Like
Fort
outside of
Myers.
getting
Like
recognition,
mainstream.
out.
Like why
yeah.
didn't nobody hit mainstream yet?
Sure, yeah.
Plies is mainstream, so is that what you meant by that?
Yeah, like he's the only
yeah.
person I can think of in the music industry, because there's obviously other things like Nico Price is a fighter and he's made it out, blah blah blah. But
True.
like,
Shout out Marcus Willis,
Who's that?
my boxing coach.
Oh.
Willis
I'm like,
Boxing.
who the fuck is that? No, but like, why don't you feel like, can someone go viral and make it big out of here? You know what I'm saying?
I think that through this process, we've seen a lot of artists, and the ones that are still doing it, have matured and are at a point when they can, where I feel they are able to blow. I think our issue right now, at some point, it was content. We didn't have enough content, and I say this for GCL as well, but like, at one point, Fort Myers or the area didn't have enough content. Now we have content. It's really about delivering. I think maybe we're not delivering in the right manner, or we just haven't hit that, that one spark to really catch it. But I think it's about to happen, personally. Personally, I think it's about to happen. And who? There's so many. I mean,
Give me a couple.
I
Who
have
you
an
got? Who
awesome
you got?
individual right next to me. This
Hey, look
this
at
is
it, got
very
the plug.
talented individual right
Hey,
here.
okay, you got the plug.
Ariel's I don't know what, triple,
dope.
quadruple threat or something like that. So
Hey,
you know,
these are like that Jamie Foxx.
We
you know
didn't
what I
have
mean?
artists, a lot of artists artists that have definitely grown from having the experience of being at GCL. There are authors and
You ain't dropping no names though, so
designers.
listen. Okay,
You ain't
my
dropping no
sister.
names,
Let me
though,
drop
so
my
I don't
sister's
believe you.
Lexecution Rivera. My sister is another example, right?
Okay.
So my sister is a visual artist, and she started showing what
2013 or something like
2013.
that?
yeah,
I would say.
3 years ago, and she's now going to be showing in galleries. And you go from just painting in your kitchen to doing commission pieces for people of notability.
look at you what I'm saying, because she did, so she did something for someone
You
important, but it hasn't
listen,
come out yet. So
but
damn right.
it's true. It's true.
But even Bravo, like we've had pop-up shows.
Richard
for
Bravo,
here.
Enter the
we've gone to
Mind.
New York. And
Bravo, Broadway, Bravo,
Bravo.
Richard Bravo, the artist.
Oh, I thought you meant like the TV station. Okay.
No. This
No,
is
it's still important. It's just it's just
absolutely,
not Bravo.
yeah.
But anyway,
Richard Bravo is an artist that.
Is that what's on your TV
that we
right
represent.
now? Is this what you're watching?
no,
Bravo
I
and
don't-
Ovation
I don't watch
in your
TV.
spare
I
time?
don't have time for that.
You look like more of a
But
streamer anyway.
I watch mad TV. What?
You look like a streamer anyway. You got cable.
Yeah, I'm a
you got cable,
streamer.
dude.
I'm like new school, man.
Dude, and that's why we're going to be successful. The media platform has changed. Like,
Has.
people our demographic
Absolutely.
and our age are not watching the news, not reading the newspaper to get their information. There are a bunch of creative people that are videographers and photographers and producers that get together and decide we're going to do this ourselves. I'm sorry, isn't that what the Wedding Collective is?
Yeah.
That's exactly what you
Well,
guys
thank
are
you.
Shout out.
doing, like right now.
I appreciate that.
The collective came out of it, GCL. That's exactly what we're doing. It's just a creative professionals get together and decide we're not going to wait for anybody to give us a chance. We are going to take it.
Isn't that the beauty of, like, you're thinking about like a Chance the Rapper, who didn't really need a record label to
Very
to
impressive.
win a Grammy, to sell
Little
it.
Sims is another one. What does she do? Open her own label.
Who?
Little Sims.
Who's that?
Oh,
Little Sims?
Bendito, right? That's how I say it.
Bendito,
Bendito.
yeah.
I'm learning new things with my Latino friends.
You would make me a arepa. Play some Suavemente right now.
No.
Listen, I give him
Nora
points for
Gasolina
knowing
from Daddy
that.
Yankee.
Yay.
All right.
Suavemente.
No more
Suavemente
gasolina
is
from
the
Daddy
joint,
Yankee.
though.
He said no more.
Suavemente
Classic. That's
makes
classic.
the white people go crazy.
Oh, from
It's
the
the
wedding.
one Spanish song,
What
other
about
than
Daddy-
Danza Cundaro or whatever that is.
Don Omar
The,
song.
the Fast and Furious song.
Oh, okay.
You're going to have to sing it. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking
Now
about.
throw your hands up. Now drop them hands low.
Oh, okay, okay, yes, yeah, yeah.
No,
So
no,
do you-
and bow down, doodle.
Individual, talented individual. He came out. He
Couldn't
saw
help
it.
it. Couldn't help it.
Jesus.
No, but I feel like it is. I don't even know my point now because I'm
Sorry.
Let's
He
see.
wants to go salsa dancing now. Good job,
I
Marco.
missed my point. What was we talking about? We were talking about dancing. No, we were talking about dancing. Spanish.
You were
people.
talking about how awesome we were. Go ahead.
No, look. I'll say this.
We're not awesome,
I'll say this.
Malik?
No, you guys are awesome.
Okay.
You guys are awesome. I have to say that because I owe you guys.
Horrible.
I would say that you guys are not only helping the culture move forward, you guys are helping people in their life move forward, giving them a platform. Business people, you're helping them move forward by allowing them to have a space to network and have people. And then you guys are also helping like this nonprofits. You got the HIV thing going. And so what do you guys have coming up that you guys would like to just tell people and have them come out to and help out or enjoy it, whatever, perform? What do you guys have going on?
Definitely. So right now, our next event, our In Poetry Networking event, is next Friday, or this Friday, actually, April 21st.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Yes, this Friday, April 21st, and it is Art and Poetry rendition, 50 Shades of Blue. So we have partnered with 50 Shades of Blue,
Nice.
yes.
What's up?
So we've partnered with Blue Crayons, Autism Awareness Agency, that helps build sensory rooms for children of autism. And right now, our mission is to help them obtain the materials needed to build a sensory room in Island Coast High School. So that is going
Wow.
down at 8 p.m. at the Cindy and Byrne Davis Art Center. It's $15 to get in, and proceeds will be donated to Blue Crayons to help them get the
Wow.
sensory room built.
Cool. Come out. Make sure you guys come out to that. It's Friday, correct?
Friday,
Friday,
8 p.m.
8
Doors
p.m.
open at 8. We close at 11. We've got the best best bartender, Stacy, and she'll hook it
So
up.
if you running on color people's time, you can't show up. At like
That's why we
10:30.
start performances at 9.
You start performances at 9, so you got a little bit of time, but don't
Don't
be
wait.
walking in at like 10:45.
Nah, come on, check out the art. You know, check out, talk to
come
everybody,
out,
meet
come
everybody,
out
network.
on time.
Yep. Art, poetry, music. We've got a kid that's gonna do a sign language performance that I'm actually really excited for. Like, it's really amazing the things that you're gonna see on the stage.
Cool. Anything else?
Well, I mean, Speak My Piece is the first Saturday of every month.
Shout
the
out
one
to the
coming
American
up,
Legion, Post
American
38.
Legion, Post 38.
How do people, if they want to perform, do they just show up? They have to email, text, everything?
We like to get notified before, just because we even though for Speak My Piece, which is more of an open mic forum, we get, people can come up and, if there's room, absolutely get on stage. We like people to approach us because, one, if you're an artist and you approach us beforehand, you get in for free to our events. Cool. And then, just so there's an understanding, we do this not only for the community of individuals that are like, enthusiasts, but also the artists themselves. So artists don't have to pay at our events to get in. They come in for free, and any of their guests have to pay the $10 cover or $15 or whichever at that point, and they get to sell their artwork or their CDs or any type of information for free. I mean, we're not trying to make any money from the artists. That's not the point why R and Poetry or GCL or Speak My Piece came around. It came around to really build that bridge between the community of artists and the enthusiasts in the general community.
Yeah.
The best way to contact us is to connect with us on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram.
Twitter.
at
Ooh,
Gulf
Twitter.
Coast Leisure. And
MySpace?
if you,
They got MySpace?
Nah.
No MySpace?
No MySpace, no. A website coming
Is that how
soon.
we can find you, Malik, on MySpace?
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
put you on my top 8.
Okay. Got it.
My profile song is
I wish
Suavemente.
Facebook could have music. You remember when MySpace?
I
used to
hated
have-
that.
You hated the
Could you
music
be in
thing?
class on someone's MySpace and it's like, I'm in love, but it's the birthday
had
month.
the good You had the good phone, bro. I
I'm
ain't
like,
had that
damn,
phone.
man. Take this minute.
Suburbs
My
of Cape
Metro
Coral.
phone didn't get
Busted.
internet at that point.
Suburbs of Cape Coral.
Hey, shout out to Suburbs of Cape Coral. They raised me. Y'all look down on me now. See? Y'all look down. Y'all like, oh, it's a piece of shit.
Also, Speak My Piece is May 6th. That's what I want to say.
6th.
First Saturday, and then
Cinco de Mayo, day after.
Day
Yes.
after, yeah.
So you're going to need
was
an
that like a thing?
Advil.
You trying to say something?
We have a bar. We do have a bar.
Okay.
So
Was
You
that
better
like
say
a,
you
was that a
better,
Spanish
you
joke?
better have some
drink
margaritas.
Latino joke?
responsibly, people.
You better have some
Lots
margaritas there.
of
for me,
margaritas.
We
Top
will.
shelf.
She actually does
Listen.
a badass blue Syracuse margarita. I don't know what it is, but it's really
bro.
good.
Turquoise.
Yes,
All
like
right.
it's
So
really
is that a new
good.
color? It's like
I don't know.
turquoise.
Sure.
Sounds like turquoise.
Listen, I just know it's blue, and it's really good.
I've had a lot of beer. I've drank a lot of beer.
Shout out.
Well, you've been here for a
In the
while.
last
Yes.
2.5 hours.
You've been here for a while.
I need some food, dog.
Ooh, Lord.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for listening. I owe this group of people a pizza or a couple. So, dude, I just want to thank GCL, or as some people like to call it, GLC, for coming through.
Just ruining my whole life.
Oh,
Dude, you're going to be
man.
running a lot tonight, Malik.
Thank
You're
y'all.
going to be running.
The next couple weeks.
Hey, seriously, you guys are doing some dope things. Shout out to Brian and Andrew. Sorry he had to go home
DJ
with his
Tiger,
fams.
Nick.
Yo, DJ
Frank.
Tiger. B.
DJ
Frank.
Tiger, literally,
All the affiliates.
literally one of the
The
best
GCL
DJs.
family, the GCL family.
GCL family, man. All you guys. Thank you guys for doing what you're doing. Thank you for coming
Thank you
out.
for having us.
The audience, my peoples, curate family. Thank y'all for listening. Tune in next week. We're gonna have some cool guests. But we out of here. Peace out. We have to eat too.